Now then, we're back. We are back, full board vision. It's the Daily Blindfold. The Daily Blindfold, and you know, we should just jump straight in. Keep the preamble minimal. Keep you all interested. And let's jump straight in. Now the live board should update in a moment. There we go. Okay, so we're in a Sicilian. Yes, I saw the position for a moment. Fraud. You saw the position after e4, c5. That's what the haters will say, but we've got no time for them. Alright, what's going on here? This is very unusual. We can take on c5, d takes, and then we can actually trade queens. And I think, you know what? I think I'll go for that. Two reasons I like that. Number one, get the queens off the board, less for us to think about blindfold. And secondly, we're not going to suffer from the typical Sicilian situation where our opponent has D and E pawns. Or in this case, you know, it would be it would have been D, you know, D and E or something like this, and we've only got an E pawn, right? Nothing on the D file. They have a central majority. It's the right way of saying it. They no longer have a central majority. E5. Hang on, this is weird. Oh, did they not play D6? I think they played D6, right? Can't we just take that now? And just be a pawn ahead? Probably bishop D6 will be played. At least that's what I'm expecting. Okay, bishop D6 played. Okay, so we've won a pawn. E5, can we do that? Give the pawn back. Knight takes, bishop takes. Great queens, they can't castle. Not so bad though, once we've traded a few minor pieces. Probably knight c3 or a bishop move makes sense. Bishop b5. That might be a way to force e5 actually, bishop b5. Let's just go bishop b. Hang on. Is there a queen a5 check? Yes, I think there is. Knight c3. So bishop b5, queen a5, knight c3. Why not? Queen a5, knight c3. Probably knight f6, bishop takes, b takes. We don't get time for e5, but we can castle. Just in time to castle, protecting our e4 pawn, I think. Oh, knight f6 played straight away. Now the reason I played bishop b5 was to jump in with e5. Maybe knight d4 as well. Isn't e5 just a fork now? I feel e5 is just a fork. I'm going to call it knight f6. Blunder. Oh, there's a pawn on e5, is there? There's a pawn on e5. I take it back. Commentator, I retract you. Okay, e4 is attacked. Could go bishop g5. We could go knight c3. Bishop g5 looks interesting. I'm just going to go knight c3 because that just looks completely normal. Okay, so pawn structure, let's not forget. It's the most important thing in blindfold chess. Or one of the two most important things. Okay, a6 played now. To hit the b5 bishop, which probably captures. No, not necessarily. Does leave them with quite an awful pawn structure, I would say, but they do have the bishop pair. If I drop back, b5, I go bishop b3, cutting through the position now that e5 has been played, so quite like that. There's still a queen a5 check. It's not a check anymore. Okay, then we have time to castle. Oof, then they can play actually knight takes e4. Our knight will be overloaded. Yeah, but when they haven't castled, I don't fear that line. I don't fear queen a4. a5 castles. knight takes e4. I feel like I should have something in that position. Yeah, we can actually just liquidate bishop c6. That's a check. But knight e4 will be a blunder because it's now attacked. Okay, so the c6 knight is still pinned. Bishop b4. Now that cannot be the right way to treat this position. The reason why I feel that way is that that bishop shouldn't be moving to pin this knight before black has finished their development. That's the way I feel. I feel that e5 is hanging. The pin on the knight's not really a problem, and I can also trade queens. Interestingly, if I trade queens and then I play knight takes e5. Ah, okay, I'd have to take on c6 first because there's no longer a pin. bc, knight takes. Even if they trade with threatening knight f7, which is a fork of the king, which will be on d8 and the rook on h8. Given that we're a pawn up, I think we should just trade. Queen d8. Oh, we should have done it the other way around. Ah. We should have done it the other way around because then everything would have been with a check. It doesn't really matter. I think we can just take on e5. And it threatens quite a lot of things. It threatens knight takes c6 check. Knight takes f7, which is a fork. And if they introduce bishop takes c3, bc into the position, they will win this pawn back. Or they'll attack that pawn, but it seems like they won't have time to capture it because of our threats. And we can always just play bishop. Well, we can't play bishop d3 anymore because our bishop isn't on f1. But I don't feel like we need to start defending. I feel like we need to start attacking or continue with the threats. A couple of threats on the board. So what did we do there? We traded one pair of minor pieces and the queens. Okay, so our minor pieces are like this, and their minor pieces are like this, I think. And their pawn structure, let's never lose track of the pawn structure, is like this. Ours is like this. So we're now 2 pawns ahead. Yeah, that's a check, so we've got to capture back. But now that didn't help solve the problems of knight takes c6 and knight f7. Knight takes f7. And interestingly, I mean, I want to play f3. Okay, that's a good move, I think, because it hits the e4 pawn through my knight. If I capture here, the king will come to c7, attacking my knight, which I'll have to retreat, and then I'll give up this pawn. I don't really want to give it up. I really want to play f3. But my e5 knight's attacked, so I don't have time. Is there a world in which I can play knight f7? And once the king moves, give myself time to play f3. Hoping to bring the knight back via g5, or maybe d6. I think what will happen is king e7. Then we can hop back. And on king d6, knight c4. It's all getting complex. You know what move I like quite a lot? I like that move. Knight takes c6 somehow. Okay. Interesting point has arisen. An interesting moment. Okay, knight f7 or knight c6. I feel like we're just getting lost somehow after knight c6. Knight f7. But if they do choose king e7, perhaps we can just walk back. King d6, knight c4, king c5. Our knight's protected, and then we've got time to play f3. So, based on that calculation, I'm going to take on f7. Sure. Oh, and they went to c7. Alright, so now we just got time to play f3. Okay, and then they might play h6 and trap our knight. Okay, but the d6 square is free. I don't think our knight's going to get trapped. Right, I might be wrong. But, I mean, we have got 3 pawns. We're 3 pawns up, so if we lose a knight, it's not the end of the world. King is on c7. Pawns are here. Like so. Our pawns are beautiful. What a beautiful pawn structure. Love it. Okay, our knight's kind of stranded on f7. Their knight's on f6. Bishop's on c8. King c7. Rooks. I kind of lost track. Do we have a knight on c3? We do have a knight on c3. Bishop going to e6, but now we've got knight g5, so with the tempo. If it was knight g5, it was on knight e5. I think just knight g5, just do it fast. I don't think the bishop on e6 threatened anything. Okay, but we can just... Oh, we don't have a light square bishop. So that means, right, there are only 2 money pieces on the board. Alright, now I think we should just castle long. Feel that that's a move. c6 pawn is working against our c3 knight. This is where we start losing too much time. We need to also bring about that maneuver. We've got a dark square bishop. Oh, that's hilarious. So hang on. Right, I've lost track. I really lost track of what happened. Minor pieces. Knight on f7, knight on c3, a knight on g5, sorry, we've got a bishop on e3, I think. Okay, so we should have bishop f4 check, which we could have played previously. King went to c8, okay. So now I feel like king f2 is just a good move, but we can probably castle long. I don't want to castle long, I want a king on f2. Let's go. Now we're going to bring the rooks to the open files. Yeah, I thought that might be played. I'm going to play king, bishop e3 and knight g5. Okay, I'm not going to play knight g5, but I might have to go knight like so. g1 to e2. So where is their other piece? I don't understand. They still got a minor piece on b8. They traded their dark square bishop. Have I really got a piece on c3, or is it a pawn? Pretty sure it's a piece. Definitely true. Hang on. Didn't we trade 2 pairs of minor pieces? We traded 2 pairs of minor pieces. Oh, sorry. My pawn structure is like this. That's the problem I was having. Right. Okay. Now we've understood that. I think we're in good shape. Right. Good stuff. Okay. Their pawn structure is actually just like this. Grand, crack in, and let's just trade rooks, I think. Try to trade rooks. Can they force our knight from h3? I don't think so. So this trade rook should be good. There's nothing on the back row, so let's do it. Now our opponent is probably thinking, let's flag this guy. He's got a minute and a half. He's a very slow player. Well, they're a very slow player because they don't know. They don't know my pronoun. Okay, we can go rook a1, but then there'll be rook b2. So I think we just the king is on the king is on c8, right? So this is going to force king takes c8. Okay. Now we can attack the bishop, I think. But I think even better is actually rook a1, because our e3 bishop now and rook are lined up against... the pawn's on a6. Okay, so they defended it. Now I think it's time to reroute the knight. We did lose a pawn out of that transaction, but I don't feel that that's really a problem. Alright, let's reroute. So we've got these guys. They've got these guys. Yep, 2 pawns up. They need to figure out what to do with their f6 knight, which is not good against the f3 pawn. The bishop on c4 is a defender. The king runs to b7. Right, well, I'm just going to put the rook on the open file. Bishop b5 is a blunder because the c4. So maybe the king will come. The king went to c7, okay. There is a check. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to head on into e2. Try and get to d4. That's where my knight wants to be. Don't really want to throw this check in and have my bishop kind of hemmed in or not able to have a life along this diagonal. Alright, but now that pawn's hanging, so probably I should just jump in with bishop b6 check and pick off the a5 pawn. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Okay, let's take that. We're also threatening a check here. The thing to look out for... No, it's not a thing to look out for. Doesn't matter. Okay, this is a check, so we're also kind of protected. c5 playable? Ooh, c5, and didn't we just... Alright, I think c5 was perhaps playable. It's not playable now, so let's just jump into d4. Right, I think we've got king, bishop, pawn, rook, knight, pawn, pawn. We've got these pawns. Okay, the rook has come down here, attacking this thing, but it's defended. A rook there, we've got a bishop here. What do we do? Guess. I think the king is on d7, so... I think we can go right the way back up here, actually. Because c2 is just not... Okay, we can't do that for some reason. Why is that? Our bishop's on b4. Okay, so we should go here. Oh, were we attacking the b5 bishop? Where's their bishop? It's on b5. I'm sure it is. We should just capture that. Once we've got our rook to d2. Or even straight away. So I think it comes with a check. I think this threatens knight takes b5. Nah, their bishop's on c4. That's how we were able to capture on b6, right? I think the bishop's on c4. Bearing that in mind. Knight f5 check, take on h6. He went back up there. I think knight h5 is a check. And I think the h6 pawn is hanging. Now they will play this move if we take on h6 straight away and pick up our h2 pawn. Okay. I think there's a rook check now. This knight's protected. So let's just jump in with the rook check. And we can take on c6. This now comes with a check. So let's have it. Alright, this is not an attack because their knight's attacked, but it's now pinned, right? So think we're just swapping pieces off here. Yep, so let's go. Let's trade. Okay, so we're in a bishop ending. Opposite colour bishops. Perhaps wasn't the best choice, but I think we've got a great position. So let's improve the king. I think they've only got 2 pawns. C6 and G5. Whereas we've got all of these. Okay, they went to E6. Bishop B4. So, where's our king? D4. Let's go. Shit. That was a bad one. Oh, and our bishop just is not able to capture that pawn. Oh dear. I think we'll get it back. Via. Yeah, okay. So that's alright because our king is protecting this guy. C2 is going to hang. We're going to get F4 back, and now we've got 2 protected passes. The only pawn they've got is C6. And we've got a bunch of different pawns. Okay. And their king... Alright, so let's just put this... Let's just run the H pawn. Oh. Yep. Whoa. Shit. Oh god. Let's hang all our pawns. How about that? Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it? Okay, 2v1 now. Nope. Apparently we've got 3 pawns. Ah, we've got an E pawn. Okay. Drop back and try and harry the bishop a little bit. Okay. Alright, let's try and advance this pawn. And then try and get the C6 one. That looks wrong, so... Okay, if they allow us in here, we might have a chance. I don't think they're gonna... Well, they have done, so... Okay. Now maybe they need to play bishop h3. We made a total hash of this ending, by the way. I think that might be the nail in the coffin for our esteemed opponent. E6, E7, E8. How do you stop that? Because your pawn's on C6, so it's hard for your light square bishop, which is, I don't know, is it on D2, E2 or F1? I don't know. Well, we know where it is now. Okay, but that bishop is now going to be lost. As it goes to F7, King D7. Now we're going to make a queen, pick up the bishop, and the endgame should be an easy win. Oof, you know, we made life very difficult for ourselves there. But we only have 15 seconds and we're playing Blindfold. And our opponent has left the game. We're going to wait 114 seconds and then claim victory. I'm afraid I won't be giving you a high five. I'll be giving you a slap on the wrist, to be honest. Leaving the game. Making me wait. Making all my viewers wait. Alright, looks like they're disconnected, so I retract my slap on the... and then they resigned. Well played. I mean, good etiquette. Alright, well, it's nice to get one in the bag. For once. Alright, let's have a little look at this game, analysis-wise, and see if we can pick anything up. Playing with the white pieces. Aha. So we can streamline this bit a little bit at some point. We will do that. Alright, so here we go. As the tune segues. Let's request a computer analysis from Lee. And let's see where the big turning points were in this game. I'm guessing this dip here is where we turned a 1 opposite colour bishop ending into a drawn 1. Maybe it was at the point where we played something like G4. No, apparently this is the losing move. Or the drawing move. Okay, let's go from the beginning. And just see how it looked. Okay, so it was e4, it was a Sicilian. Okay, we made hard work of this. I think this is already not good. It looks like it's kind of playable. You're a whole pawn down. Don't see the compensation. Thought bishop b5 was a good choice. Okay, and here bishop b4 is a big time inaccuracy. It's a mistake, really. And it should kind of be clear why you... I mean, you move this piece to the b4 square. If you wanted it on b4, maybe you could have put it there to begin with, or perhaps not, actually. It would have been chased back with c3 right at this point. But fair enough, if you want the bishop on b4, go ahead, but I feel it's just more important to castle in this position and to complete your development than to start moving pieces around. But that's only the half of it. I think the other half of it is... Oh, they did castle. Okay, bishop b4 here. Okay. Oh, we're in a variation. That's not right. Okay, here bishop b4. Sorry, this is what I mean. Castling. I mean, Lichess is giving this a double question mark. Okay, I mean, it just allows a series of captures where you end up 2 pawns down, I think. Right, nothing wrong with doing it this way. Now then, knight f7 was okay. Knight c6 was probably playable as well. What does it think to this move? Nowhere near as good, interestingly. Okay, and I guess the answer is that the king can come to c7, yeah, and then win this pawn back. So that was... I did see that. Knight f7. The reason I picked knight f7 is because now if the king attacks the knight, well, when it does this, it interferes with the rook's attack on the pawn. I mean, it allows you to bring the knight back. I would have gone to e5. Was that playable? Yeah, that is playable. Even to knight g5 apparently. And h6. Apparently now we can play bishop a3 check and stuff. Ah, king d7. It still looks like we're losing this. But I guess we get just loads of development against the king. Okay. But the reason I played knight f7 was so that king e7 is going to interfere with the rook. And I figured that a line actually would go like this. Not the best moves. King d6 is not the best move. And here I thought, yay, my knight's protected by my bishop, which doesn't exist. But surely dragging the king to this square is not good. For black. So, okay, we picked the correct move anyway, even if not for exactly the right reason. Okay, and here we just developed our pieces. King f2 looked nice. And I think here we just have a very comfortable advantage. c4, yep, to defend a6. We rerouted the knight. a5 just gave the pawn up, which we spotted. Maybe there was a better move here than the one we played. Nope, top move. Yep. Okay, and this is a winning bishop ending, but we made a bit of a hash of it, to be honest. That was the problem. We just gave the pawn up. Until then, yeah, just keep it slow. Just keep it slow. King c5, forcing bishop a. Yeah, just this surely is the way to go. And then without the bishop's support, we can just throw these guys down the board. 3 extra pawns usually wins in opposite color bishops. Well, it depends on the position, but when you've got opposite color bishops, the positions can be very drawish. All right, I think we did okay there. We're going to trot back, and then we're going to play another one. Getting very used to these stream beats. Harris Heller. Alright, let's go. Let's drop in. Let's see what Ronin 73 has got up their sleeve. E4, E5. Come on, Ronin. What have you got for us? An Italian? Yes. Knight F6. We're gonna get a knight G5, D3. Yeah, this move looks slow, passive, but I think it is the best response to the two knights. It gives black a headache. Right, it's the move that you really don't want to face. When you play the two knights, you want a wild, open, aggressive position. They play D3 and you just don't get that. So, well done. But the question is it what white wants to play as well? A4. Okay, this is preparation to drop the bishop back to A2, and also to gain some space on the queen side. So what should we do against that? I'm going to castle and play D5. I think we can do that. C3 played. Okay, and I'm just hoping that this move A4 has given me time to play D5. Freeing the position. Now they castle. I'm going to play bishop G4. And this is quite some expansion. Let's just make a note of the pawn structure. Like so? No, there's no pawn on E5. And we're looking like this, right? So this E5 pawn here, this one, let me get rid of everything. This is our big weakness and our big liability here. I guess B5 is coming, which is the idea, to displace our knight. And actually even A6 can't stop that. So I guess we'd want to play bishop E6. No. We'd want to play something like bishop D6. We can't do that at the moment, because our queen is defending. So does it? This little plan of just pushing the queenside pawn seems to have caused us some sort of a problem. Now currently, even if our knight gets displaced, we're pinning this guy to the queen, so the E5 pawn isn't really attacked. The question is, how do we handle all of these problems? Funnily enough, C3 is only defended by this knight. What about E4? That looks silly, but the move that's almost always good in these positions is rook E8. Just accept that on B5 we're going to play knight E7. Let's swing around to G6. Maybe we should just do that straight away. Okay, actually, I think this stops B5. Play B5 we take. If they recapture, we win the rook. Ah, and this is it. Now they've stumbled because C3 is hanging. Right? C3 is just hanging. Attacks the queen. I mean, that has to be a good move. Knight takes C3. Has to be a good move. I mean, maybe they can do queen B3, but yeah, okay. Okay. That'd be funny if that actually just traps our knight. But I think knight E2 check is possible, right? Or are you telling me they didn't castle? They definitely castled. Okay, I think we can jump to E2 with a check. Can't go back to d5, I don't think, because we just get captured. f7 is safe. We could play... No, we can't. Bishop f6 doesn't work. Alright, what's our pawn structure again? This is where we need to just focus a moment and find out what's going on in the position. We will lose time, but we might get somewhere in this position, I think. I think that's their pawn structure. So we've got this extra pawn. Where can the knight go? This is cheating a little bit, isn't it? Ooh. Okay, we can also capture here. I think this check is... I think it's just a check. And you know what? I think we can pick off this c1 bishop afterwards. At least I don't see anything that's covering. Yeah. I don't see anything that's covering e2. So I'm going to jump into e2 with a check. The rook's on e1. Fair enough. But I don't think it was right. Okay. Now I think we can just liquidate. We don't have to do that. I don't think. Not necessary. But it does give us the bishop pair. Okay. e5 pawn. Okay, can't we actually just jump in now? Knight d4. Like, I think we can do that. And it's a nuisance. They'll want to take on b7. I think that's what they will try to do. Okay, but they'll have to capture first. Alright. Maybe then instead we should just take... Oh, there's too many choices. I'm torn. I'm torn between trying to use the fact that d4 is weak to land a piece there and giving b7, or chopping off the bishop and defending b7. I mean, with pawns on b6 and c5 and a knight on d4 would be in such good shape. If they take, knight takes, we attack the queen goes here. Is c7 defended? Yes, but a8 isn't. a7 isn't. We've got rook. We take on b2. We end up giving the pawn back, I think. Knight d4 just looks really good. Okay. There's also the idea of just taking on c1, rook takes c1, bishop g5. No, we can't do that. All right, let's just do what my gut feel is. We've still got pawn on e5. We could even do that and then create a passer. Ooh. They've got a d3 pawn though, right? Let's not forget that. Which is isolated. An isolated d3 pawn. Alright, let's make them work. Just make them work. b5 is the antidote, isn't it? Is it? Oh, knight a5. He finds it. He finds it eventually. Knight a5 is the move. Grab the bishop pair. No problems. d3 is hanging. The end of the line. Knight a5. Okay. I think I can see everything. Knight a5. You're telling me they've got a b4 pawn? But didn't they just blunder their queen? Oh, we still got a b pawn. Okay, and then they take on e5, which attacks our bishop. And everything's an utter calamity. Okay, how can we try to react here? Okay, let's just remember where the pawns are. We took on c3. I think this is their pawn structure. We're a piece down. f7 was hanging. Discovered check, it attacks our queen, so we've got to take. Now we're in exchange down. What have we got in the position? f5, we're attacking d3. We hung our piece. So they've got a bishop, a knight. Alright, I'm going straight in like so. En passant. Okay. Yeah. With b5 they captured en passant. Rook b6. Okay, so we've got rook, queen, pawn. Okay, pawn, pawn. Queen c7. What? Uh-huh. I've not got a clue, really. We're in exchange and a piece down. So I think they've got a knight here. Queen, bishop, rook, rook. Yeah, and their pawn structure is so hard to visualize, but I think it's actually this. The rook went to b1, where it threatens my b6. Can I just transfer over to d6? I think I'm sort of putting pressure on d3. And d2 behind it. I think. Okay, so the knight goes to f3, yeah, where it attacks this. Do I want to go to f3? I think I do. I'm going to go to, sorry, f6. Go to f6. Is this diagonal fully open? I think their pawn structure is like this. So they got 5 pawns. They're +6 somehow. We've got 2, 3, 4 pawns. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the rook has come down. Got the bishop pair. Okay. I think we can play bishop takes, rook takes. But I think before all of that, we should just lock in, because it looks like there might be some back rank ideas and stuff on these 2 open files. And I think we should at least, that probably wasn't the smartest idea. At least we've got some back rank ideas in the position. Maybe this? Where did they move their rook? They've doubled up, which is hitting our queen. We should do something about that. And what is that something? Let's try queen d6. do want to play bishop c3. That's a check, fine. King g7. Okay, so they're a whole rook up, is what's going on. Amusing. Do you want a rook c3? How do we cause problems? Maybe c5, c4? Here's a passed pawn. Hang on. Okay. c5, queen takes. Actually, it doesn't quite work. Queen takes, rook takes. We give a check, they go back. So we can't do that. However, they have attacked it, so we should do something about that. And all I can really think to do is this. Kind of threatening this to go into a exchange down endgame. Right, rook takes f3. By the way, queen takes c7 is a big time blunder because of rook d1. Actually, it's not, is it? Because they can just play this move. So actually, queen c7 is probably fine. Oh no, queen c7 now we actually take here because the queen no longer has contact. So queen c7 is the move I'm thinking of. I think we can just take this, so it doesn't work. We've got 10 seconds, they've got 7 minutes. Okay, what about this then? I mean, go on. Let's see what they do. A bit of fun. They come back there. I'm gonna go here again. Okay, 7. Okay, so where's our queen? It's on d7. Okay, gonna go back to d6. Okay. Oh, that's a check. Well played. Can't win them all. Good game. Good game, well played. Ronin 73. Big blunder there. But let's jump into some analysis. Have a quick look. This is the fun part for me. I get to see what the game actually looks like. I mean, how much fun it is watching your horrendous blunders back is debatable. But let's have a look. Okay. Request a computer analysis from Lichess. Love this feature of Lichess. Okay, well we had a big edge. So we played well in the opening. There's a pattern emerging for our games. We're looking at this from the white point of view, so let's just flip that round. Okay, so what did white do wrong? They allowed an easy d5. And then they gave away c3. Okay, and here it was a choice. And I thought for a long time. Captured. And then I played the awful move knight a5, which is a double question mark move. Hey look, b4's hanging. Didn't see that. Didn't see that. What else? Knight d4. Knight d4 is also okay. But yeah, this is horrendous. And I think... Is there any point looking on from here? Probably not. Doesn't look like we had any chances, so... And this... Just losing an exchange. Yep, difficult. Okay, we got out 1-1. So that's not so bad. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll be back, and I'll see you again on Full Bob Vision. Have a nice Friday and a good weekend ahead of you. See ya.